Welcome to the worst nightmare of all. Reality.
Explore the lesser-known stories of our unknown world. Join the pursuit of the paranormal with Ash and Greg.
Hey Greg, how's it going?
Yeah, all good, thanks. Been very busy the last 7 days. Hammering TikTok. For anybody that's may or may not follow us on TikTok, we are now on there as a podcast, and it's a whole new world. It's a whole new world.
But it's going well.
Yeah. So in the last 7 days, we've had nearly 7,000 views of our posts and videos. So I'll take that. We've also doubled our listeners or viewer subscribe. I don't know what followers. Yeah, showing my age now. Our followers are in the last 3 days. So that's pretty crazy. So if you are on TikTok, and probably everybody under 30 is, then give us a little follow on there. Which Pursuit of the Paranormal podcast on there. So yeah, come and join the fun. Stuff on there that is and isn't on our Facebook and Instagram. So there's a mixture of stuff that's sort of exclusive on there, and certainly is on there first before it's on social media platforms that we're on as well. So
Yeah, and it's at Pursuit of the Paranormal. It's not. There's no podcast. Just search for at Pursuit of the Paranormal and like us and like all our videos. And
yeah, like all the videos, share it all, comment on it, get everybody involved. Duet with us. Apparently that's the thing. I don't know what that is.
well,
But
we can make one that people can duet with.
yeah,
Let's do that this week.
we can do that. We'll do that this week. Yeah. So yeah, come say hello if you're on there. As I say, I think most people are on TikTok. It's like crack for the app generation. So
Yeah, definitely.
this episode, which are the guys from Dockside Media, which Chris and Tyler, had a great deal of fun talking to them.
Yeah, they're great guys.
Absolute characters, and you'll get exactly what we mean when you hear the podcast and the interview. Such great guys, and their passion for this, the work they're doing is infectious. So they have got a documentary or series of documentaries coming out, but the first one is Conscious Contact Full Disclosure, which is released next month. And whilst this isn't a paranormal talk like we normally do, or a UFO talk, this is us talking to them about how they made the documentary, that some of the findings, and getting to know the guys behind the documentary, which we've seen. We've been fortunate enough to see it.
Yeah, they kind of let us have an advanced screening of the documentary, which is it's good. It's really, really good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was great, and interesting characters on there, including an ex-defense not Ministry of Defense, Department of Defense employee, publicly coming out and talking about alien contact and conscious contact with extraterrestrials. So that's definitely something to have a look into.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's coming out across all platforms.
Yeah, is it 19th of April?
19th of April, yeah. So that's a Prime Video, Netflix, everything like that. So
yeah, and when you listen to the guys, make sure you check out the website, which is Dockside Media, DOC, sidemedia.com.
Yeah, and these guys, as I said a minute ago, they're such great guys, and we had such a laugh speaking to them that you'll want to watch the documentary.
Yeah.
Even without knowing anything about it. So yeah, let us know your thoughts on that, as always. and would be interested for you guys to go and follow them on social media, watch and feedback on the documentary when it releases.
Yeah, definitely. Sit back and enjoy our interview with Chris and Tyler. And so welcome to the show, Tyler and Chris. Thank you for coming on chatting to us.
Thank you for having us. I think you're our first. Is this our first international podcast we've guested on, Tyler?
This is our first international one.
that.
Hopefully,
Awesome.
you know, the first of many, but we are certainly honored that you guys are popping our cherry on the international podcast circuit.
Is that a-
Privilege.
We aim to pop it hard as well. So, so you guys have or are releasing a documentary based on the UFO alien contact subject. So do you guys want to tell us a little bit about the documentary, when it's coming out, and what it's all about?
Go ahead, Tyler.
Sure. So our company is Dockside Media, and we've got the movie Conscious Contact Full Disclosure releasing April 19th on Amazon, iTunes, Google Play, Microsoft, and Vimeo. And then for your fans that are into the paranormal, we'll plug this real quick. We also have The Ghosts of Gettysburg, which is releasing April 26th, which is another fascinating documentary that Chris and I made. We'll send that to you boys too. But if you're into the Civil War and ghosts, and man, we camped out on haunted lands and all that dope stuff. But back to Conscious Contact Full Disclosure. Yeah, we were fortunate enough to get it picked up by 1091 Pictures for distribution. You know, we translated this bad boy into a ton of languages. So I don't care. You guys are reaching 40 countries, I believe. Yo, those 40 countries, if they're speaking Italian, French, English, German, Spanish, or Dutch, we got you covered.
I think that's most of them. Yeah,
pretty much, more or less. We don't have it in Mandarin, but I don't know. I would never put that out of the realm of possibilities.
Yes, Tyler. Yes.
So there's a big market there. But back to this Conscious Contact Full Disclosure, man, what we did is we put together this, what we believe is a very interesting, informative, entertaining, and thought-provoking documentary that interweaves 5 people's experiences. Some of those are have had conscious contact or spoken telepathically with extraterrestrials in different parts of the United States. The one, her name is Anjali, which is a former Department of Defense intelligence officer. And so, and another one is Sue Walker, and she's a great lady as well. And so she is a clairvoyant and medium and whatnot, and she's helped solve different murders or missing person cases with like 3-letter agencies, etc. So we found some and Clifford Mahooty, the late Clifford Mahooty, who passed away here a couple months ago. But the guy, if you watch Ancient Aliens, dude, he's a Zuni Pueblo elder. So my man has had oral history and teachings and customs and all that stuff passed down to him, you know, from generation to generation to generations over thousands of years. So what we think we did was we put together hopefully a very entertaining documentary that fires people up and leaves that we've got a little something for everybody as far as all the different people that we interviewed. You know, if one person may turn you off a little bit, you know, out of the other 4, I'm sure you'll probably, you know, be super fired up. And I'll end with this real quick. But what we love, man, is when we did a lot of this screening and like advanced screeners to different people to get feedback on, hey, was there anything we should change? Dude, my favorite was like the people with 0 interest in extraterrestrials and aliens and 0 belief, right? They're coming out afterwards like they just watched Rocky IV, dude, and they're coming out swinging, so fired up. And they're not saying, oh, dude, I definitely believe in aliens now, but they're like, I don't know. I think it's possible, right? And so they're starting to like look into it more and do more investigating. So that's what we're hoping this documentary does. Is it's good for people that aren't into the UFO phenomenon, aliens, as well as people that have been into it for a while. We think we offer some different perspectives and neat stories and experiences that you're not going to necessarily maybe hear elsewhere, and gives you just some more food for thought. And last part, if you guys are really into documentaries, no nothing against them, but it's easy to make a documentary with like a lot of stock B-roll, right? Where you're not going out and filming all of your stuff. Yo, I'm hopping on a plane, on planes with 3 cameras, 3 tripods, a drone, bro. I'm getting all this footage. Just, yeah, dude, in the flesh, man. And then we've got, a friend, Adam Hartwick with Shadow Alley Productions. He's got legit awesome costumes. So we have just dope alien B-roll to help tell these stories, as well as, bro, we got Secrets of the Sasquatch coming out here too. Chris is cutting that, and we got our man in this $2,000 Sasquatch costume, bro, shooting B-roll. So, dog, we got docs for days, man. Docs for days. So I hope your fans are fired up and are looking forward to this release. I'm going to shut up and let somebody else talk here for a little bit.
I just want to say I never saw Rocky 4, just so you're aware, Tyler.
How have you not seen Rocky 4? Bro, I was 8 years old watching Rocky 4 before football games, and I go out there and be, bam, laying into people, dog.
Never saw it.
Seriously.
Never saw it. I'll have to watch it someday, I guess.
Watch
Okay.
it. Especially with the Ukrainian-Russian conflict right now. Russia is the enemy or the opponent in this.
That's the one with Dolph Lundgren?
Yeah, dude.
All right. I'll watch it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what else to say after that. Tyler kind of nailed it, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, first of all, the production values on the documentary are amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome to hear.
That makes my heart explode, bro. That makes my heart
really
explode, because we love the cinematography and filmmaking part. So to hear that
comes across, and I've seen a load of documentaries on Prime and Netflix, and they don't. It's just not good, and it doesn't entertain. It also, some of the stuff that I've seen touches the subject, and it's cringeworthy. But the way it's shot, the graphics, the computer effects, the CGI and everything they've used, and so like some of the brain bits when you're zooming around, top notch, I must say.
Well, I will say a couple things about that, honestly. So like we filmed this documentary with commercial consumer level cameras, like just Sony A5s or Sony A4, A6500.
Yeah, A66, A64.
These are like $1,000 cameras, maybe a little bit more with a lens and stuff. So it's nothing super crazy. It's but there is we've been doing filmmaking now for 5-6 years. Tyler has a big love for cinematography. I think that shows in a lot of the B-roll footage and stuff like that. And honestly speaking, I don't watch any of these other alien documentaries. I'm not a big documentary guy. So what you have here is just kind of our unique vision of what we thought made sense after interviewing these people. So, we're not following any templates. We're not trying to copy off anyone. Maybe we're doing it all wrong. I don't know. All I know is, I come from a narrative filmmaking standpoint. So I made like 14 short films, working on my feature now. And I love storytelling. I love sci-fi and horror stuff. So I kind of approach this as like, how do I make this interesting and compelling with some of the things that I know about editing and stuff. And so when it came down to it, Tyler went on, I think Tyler, you did all these interviews, right? By yourself in this one. Yeah.
I did do all. Yeah. The Ghost of Gettysburg. We shot both of those together, but this one, I just ran and did all these.
So our workflow was like Tyler would get an interview lined up. He'd fly out that day, like the night before. He'd stay in his car, rent a car, stay in there overnight, get the interview, fly home that day. And we compiled these,
and then dump all the footage.
yeah, we compiled these 5 interviews, and he's like, I think we got enough here. And I didn't even know what any of it was at that point. And I just kind of dropped it all in Premiere, the editing software, and just started kind of like looking at people's interviews. And I think what works so well is that all these people are very sincere and believe everything they're saying. And so it's authentic, but it's also, for me, was interesting was as I was like cutting, I'm like pulling different people's interviews. I'd like cut from this part to this part. And it was all basically in order of their talking. Yet their stories, a lot of it times line up in a lot of ways where they're talking about very similar subjects. They might be using different terms like download and all that kind of stuff with telepathy and contact, but it's like the same ideas from 5 random people who, don't know each other. And I thought that was really interesting. And so it just kind of like cut together very easily. It was basically the story told itself, because we didn't approach this thing with any kind of narrative in mind. We don't tell the people what to say. We don't try to point them really in any direction. We just kind of like let them talk. And so that was cool to see, like, hey, we got like a bunch of subjects in here that they're all talking about the same things. And, Tyler is more of a very open-minded person about this stuff. He's constantly sending me articles about things. You can get him talking about electrons spinning from here and here later. He'll go on about that. I forget what it's called, but Tyler knows.
Quantum entanglement, bro.
There you go. There it is. He'll talk for a while about that. But me, I'm a very skeptical person. So when it was all said and done, I'm not going to like spoil anything with the documentary, but it leaves on a very positive, uplifting message that I really enjoyed. And it leaves with some very credible people in it, like Bill Nielsen, a NASA administrator and stuff, talking about UFOs, somebody who's extremely credible. It leaves you with an open mind, hopefully. And that's kind of what I hope we accomplished here, was that if you come to this stuff as you guys who are like already all into UFOs, all into the paranormal, supernatural stuff, hopefully there's something new and interesting here. But if you're like me and you're like, I like sci-fi movies, but I've never really, dived into like UFOs and all this stuff, it kind of, to me, hopefully leaves you like thinking, hey, maybe, you know what, maybe there is something to all this. So that's my point of view, I guess.
So the 5 people whose story is being told throughout the documentary, how did you sort of come across them 5 people, and why them 5?
Dog. So we were going to do, all right. So let me just inspire your listeners for 1 second real quick. Chris is saying, hey, dog, we're shooting on consumer grade equipment. That's a fact, dude. So if anybody out there is interested in filmmaking, bro, you can go do it on your cell phone and make a darn good product. And as you get better, you can get a cheap camera and you can just keep moving up. So 2 is like, same deal. Yo, we did not make this documentary over years. Yo, beginning of August 2021, Chris is like, Tyler, do you want to start making documentaries? But yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Let's start doing that. And we've done other short film, different work, commercial work together, music videos, all that kind of stuff. But he was like, maybe, we can get some views, right? Get some ad revenue or something on YouTube, on Tubi. Like, cool, dude, let's do it.
Something to just kind of do. Yeah.
Yeah. And to help, because like we're always trying to improve. Like we know if we're not making stuff, we're not getting any better. In fact, like I can think of cool stuff in my head all day long, man. But until I like picked up my cell phone 5.5, 6 years ago and like tried to shoot a trailer, made a trailer, and then just kept going from there, right? Like until I actually did the work, that's the only way I'm getting better. So, dude, we're going to do the 7 Gates of Hell, which is about like that's what the initial idea was for the doc. And it was a local urban legend here near Lancaster, in Pelham, Pennsylvania. And it's like, if you go through these 7 gates at night, after the 7th gate, you're instantly transported to hell. So I'm like, dude, that sounds dope. And it's like close. I can interview the owner. Like, yeah, we can do that. And as I'm trying to line that stuff up, dude, I stumble upon Anjali's story on Reddit, and she's saying, yo, on August 17th, I'm going to be giving a press conference in front of the Lincoln Memorial to talk about a team that I am forming for an expedition out to this extraterrestrial base in the Mojave Mountains, right? Or in a mountain in the Mojave Desert. And I'm like, yo, Chris, dude, this takes some massive courage to go stand in front of the Lincoln Memorial, which is in Washington, D.C. It's in the capital for the international viewers. It's just like, oh man, dude, that takes some gumption. And so I'm like, bro, what do you think if I go down and shoot that, and we'll figure out what to do with it? And he's like, yeah, go for it. So I shot that, dude, man, and drove back. I think 2 or 3 hours later, I had a trailer cut for it, right? For the very first trailer from there, I happened to notice that Sue Walker, who is she is speaking under the Twitter handle at Sandia Wisdom, and so her and her husband Otter, they're the ones that have been in conscious contact telepathically with the Ponte extraterrestrials in the Sandia Mountains in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And so I happened to notice that her Twitter account basically said something to the effect, there was a tweet that the Ponte had said, oh yes, there is a base out in a mountain in the Mojave Desert. So basically it was like confirming Anjali, what she had said. So when I was like, oh dude, I'm reaching out to her, man, she led me to Clifford Mahooty and Reverend John Polk. And then Lampy 1947, she was, I just rather not disclose how I stumbled upon her, but she's active in the UFO Twitter community. Okay. But like, dude, the interviews, the people to interview, like, bro, it was like invisible hand, divine intervention, man. Like, I don't know what you want to call it, but this, like if Chris and I sat down and said, dude, let's make an alien doc, a UFO doc. How do we want this to go, and make like a story, like a story arc or something, bro? We would have never come up with this, and it wouldn't have been anywhere near as good. So I'm a believer in just kind of rolling with the punches, man, following your heart. Dude, shit doesn't always roll your way, right? But man, I just channel that in my head like, dog, that's just that pendulum getting pulled back even further, man. And it's going to swing back. So same deal. We set out with this idea of, dude, let's make some docs and get some ad revenue. And bro, I think definitely after the Sue Walker interview, which was like in September of 2021, if not before, but I'm like, Chris, dude, we got to get this distributed. Like, we're getting this picked up. This is badass, dude. This looks good. This sounds good. Let's not settle for. And then we just manifested 1091 Pictures picking it up. They're the ones like that have docs like this, UFO docs, etc., on Netflix, Hulu, right? I'm like, dog, that's who we got to go to. And we sent it to a boatload of distributors, right? Studios and all that. And I'll be damned if that quantum entanglement, bro, I'm spinning electrons here somewhere out in 1091, man, they're spinning counterclockwise. And dude, we manifested them picking it up. And then also they picked up the Ghost of Gettysburg, and we're going to send them Secrets of the Sasquatch. They won another one, In Plain Sight, the intelligence community and UFOs. Yo, we doing this shit all day. If your viewers know who retired CIA officer John Ramirez is, fascinating individual. He's come out within the past few months talking about hybrids and whatnot. So I'm like, yep, I'm asking him for an interview. Went and got that. And dude, like, I'm living in a Jason Bourne movie. This shit's crazy, dude. Driving up to the CIA officer's house, looking over my shoulders, like me showing up. They're like, oh yeah, the CIA, they know you're coming. I'm just like, yo, what is going on? But like, if we don't try, like, we're just sitting in the same spot we were when we started, man. So we keep asking, dude, this coming Thursday, I think, coming up. So like in a week, or it'll be 2 days after this pod releases. We're interviewing Tom Carey. This dude, if you look him up, he wrote a bunch of books on Roswell, dude. So guess what? Yep, he's going in plain sight, the intelligence community and UFOs too, because my man's got some shit to say, and he knows a ton of people. So, dude, I'm getting off topic because I'm just so fired up. I
love your energy.
Oh, thanks, dude. I only got one speed, go. You know, like I just. And I got to get that momentum going. And I love coming on these podcasts, dude. I just do. It's because I really hope somebody out there listening, man, like they just for maybe 1 second think, dude, you know what? That guy sounds crazy, but I'll be damned if he didn't get, a documentary that's going like worldwide distribution in multiple languages. I bet my silly ass could try and do something that really like fires me up. And so I just hope people try more, man, because like this is, last part, I'll let somebody else talk. But dude, what I love, like one of the things aside from cinematography and the filming is like, I love meeting these people, dude, because I've just been raised like, just to be respectful of everybody, man. And like, dude, if I lived your life and walked in your shoes, bro, I'd probably think a lot like you and have the same actions as you. So who's to say my beliefs, my opinions are right and yours are wrong? Like I'm just doing the best I can. Right. And so I love going in to these situations with these individuals with an open mind and getting them in a state of mind, a frame of mind to like, be able to be honest on camera and genuine. Like I love how they come across, and I'm telling them like, yo, if you want to go get an Oscar after this, you can. I'm telling you, man. Well, when I film these, everybody comes out looking good. All right, we're here to have fun, right? And let's share your story, man. People need to hear this. So like, I just like the whole process of this filmmaking, and I got to give mad credit to Chris Ruppert as well because. Dude, I got fast twitch muscles, man. I can like move from one thing to the next, to do all these small things, do small short trailer edits, stuff like that. But bro, between you, me, and the fence post, I don't know if I could edit a full 69-minute feature because it just takes a certain kind of grit, mindset, determination. You can't get discouraged, right? Like I've felt, I just know editing 15-minute stuff. Man, I can really start to lose the thrill of it and the passion. And Chris just has a great ability to see a big picture, to take all that stuff, to just put his head down.
Do you think it's kind of weird considering I never saw Rocky IV that I'm able to do that too, Tyler?
Well, I think if with me chirping in your ear enough, right? It's almost like, yeah, you've more or less seen it. I'm motivated you to
that is the thing. I think we make a good team. We're very different. We're almost very opposite people because I'm super cynical a lot of times, pessimistic person. And Tyler's the super upbeat, energetic guy, which works great because he has no fear in approaching people. That's one of the hard things about doing documentaries is you have to put yourself out there. You have to be willing to call up and email and try and get a hold of all these people you've never spoken to before. For me, that sounds terrifying. I'm trying to get better at that kind of stuff because being a filmmaker, a lot of it turns out to be about networking. It's powerful. And Tyler has no fear with that. And he has the ability, like he's saying, to go in there and make somebody comfortable. Because there's a lot of people, you turn a camera, they can be awesome, have a great conversation. You turn that camera on and they deer in headlights freeze up. It's just something about that, knowing that they're being recorded. It takes a while, either time to get comfortable, or in this case, Tyler is able to really bring out these people in a way that really shows on screen. So we have a good teamwork here. Like I was saying before, I've been doing filmmaking now for almost 6 years, I guess. And I met so many filmmakers, and so many filmmakers have a project that they want to do, and they're always waiting for somebody to come along and tell them to do it, to give them the money, to tell them, now's your chance. And honestly, that never comes from my experience. So if you want to make something, you got to go do it. So I've been hustling like I said, 14 short films, like tons of projects. And Tyler's hustler, he's a hustler as well. And so us meeting up together, we do a lot. We just hit the ground running. We haven't stopped since. So, the plan is to have 5 documentaries out this year, hopefully.
At least, dog, at
At
least.
least. So
we
yeah,
got 5 like done. I'm hoping
almost, yeah.
What the hell, dude? We're in the 3rd month, bro. And yo, this is what's up too. Yo, guys, we had this doc finished in November.
It's
bro. Like here, just dealing with distribution, right? There's just
that's
a process.
Slow, much slower process, yeah.
Slow process. And so I don't know, maybe we can revolutionize the game or something, because some of this stuff is like time sensitive, right? Yeah. The sooner it's released, the better. Plus then people can follow along and go, and investigate these people, right? And so yeah, dude, I think we're getting more than 5 done, because I mean, yeah, dude, we all these things are shot. We just got to finish shooting in plain sight. We got like 3 interviews for that left. So if you guys know any dope former intelligence officers, let me know.
Greg and Ash are going to be like, why do we have these Americans on? They never shut up.
Yeah, dude, that is true.
It makes our life easier. So, going back to the documentary, so Sue Walker talks quite a incredible experience that she's been having.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe her?
Can I take that, Tyler?
Go ahead.
So this is what I'll say. I believe she believes what she's saying. That's one thing. But 2,
Cool.
if you would ask me or if you would have said this idea to me like 2 years ago, say, oh, she's been telepathically communicating with aliens or any of that kind of stuff, or I would have said, no, that's just crazy, for a bad word, whatever. But a year ago, I started doing therapy. And in therapy, my therapist said, do you want to do hypnosis? And I was like, okay. I've seen movies. Hypnosis is not like, it's not real. It turns out it is real. It's just not what I've seen in movies. And so what that did for me was it changed my perspective, because I had something in my mind of what this thing was. And then I did this thing and I was like, it's not what I thought it was, but it is something real and it is effective and it does do something. And the mind is a very powerful tool and can be manipulated with these things. And so I guess my whole point is it's all about perspectives, because I had a perspective before I experienced something. And then after I experienced, I have a completely different perspective, because I had all these things that I brought to that, all this baggage of like what I thought something was. And then when I actually went and did it and realized there's something there, it completely changed my point of view on this whole thing. So I would say I believe she believes what she's saying. I think she's a very sincere woman. And I haven't experienced those things she's saying, but now I can't rule it out because of the things I have experienced. So that's the whole point, is keep an open mind. Maybe she's, maybe it's not really happening and whatever, but maybe it is. I would love to find out more. I would love to have that experience she's having. So yeah, I guess maybe that's my answer. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, bang on. So me and Ash started this podcast about 18 months ago now. Literally very similar to you guys. We just were chatting online in a poker group on Facebook, and we were like, I fancy doing a podcast. Do you want to do it? And within 2 weeks, we'd done our first episode.
Yeah.
Wrapping up. But before that, this was before we've spoken to all the different characters and experiences that we've spoken to. Had we looked at ourselves back then and said that we're going to be speaking to people that claim to have poltergeist activity every day, people that claim to be abducted by aliens on a daily basis in their house, other houses, from childbirth and being a small child up to the current day. We spoke to somebody who has gnomes in his kitchen every day for breakfast. Was a recent one, and now I don't even know what's real.
Yeah.
And like you, as you expertly just put there, it's their experience, and unless you've had their experience, you don't know. Who's to say what is real, what isn't real, what's happened to them, whether it's true or false or whatever. But I definitely think, like you said, she definitely believes what she's saying is the truth. And some of the stuff she was saying about screen memories, she talks about screen memories, and that is something that's come up in a lot of UFO conversations that we've had on podcasts as well, haven't we, Ash? So that sort of was one bit that sort of, for me, was like, that's a sort of a tick for me, that she knows what she's talking about, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But to see some of the drawings, without spoiling it for people, to see some of the drawings she's done of these creatures, and she claims to have been taught artistry and art by telepathy. So it's very good pieces of artwork.
It's just very talented. Yeah, they're legit artwork.
She is, man, and just from like being there in her home, her and her husband Otter, I mean, dude, the nicest people like I've ever met, the most genuine people. Man, I really love life, but I feel like, dude, I and I'm very optimistic, but as far as people go, I just feel like I've always been a pretty good judge of character. And so like when we're making these documentaries, like I wouldn't even gravitate. I just wouldn't even gravitate towards people that I just thought were intentionally being deceitful.
Mm-hmm.
And so, man, Sue, she's an amazing one. And I'll tell you this, that on their website, officialfirstcontact.com, if you go to like downloads, you can see there's a telepathy 101 primer, and that was dictated, I believe, to her via telepathy by one of the Ponti extraterrestrials. And it's a quick read. I think it's like 260 pages, but you got to understand, like each page is almost like I mean, I don't know how old it is, but it looks like, oh, dude, this was like maybe the first meme. It's like a picture with like 2 words. So you can like quickly read, digest, understand what each point is talking about. So you can go through it in 10 minutes. And I know that for me, having an open mind before I went out there, I'm like, oh, I'm going to try this exercise to try and perform telepathy. And I just like 2 really interesting experiences. I mean, if they were coincidental, they were like, yeah, I mean, it was just kind of far out. The one real quick was just, being a cinematographer and filmmaker, like I can picture in my mind's eye, like what I want to see on the screen, or I can visualize images and that kind of stuff. And this was like super weird that when this alien image like came to me, it was like, it's with my eyes closed, but it was like physically like 5 feet in front of me, not like in my mind's eye like I normally have that like visual imagery. So I was just shocked. One, I was like, yo, that's crazy that this is like, that image is in front of me. And 2, it was like, oh bro, I'm like trying to rack my brain like afterwards, like where I've never seen a alien or like any image like that, right? Because I would think my brain would like pull it from like some former like subculture movie, magazine, like picture, whatever. And it was like a completely original vision or image of an alien. So I was like, oh dude, that's crazy. So yeah, dude, I think she definitely believes what she said. And I was out even a second time to interview her for Secrets of the Sasquatch, because she has some interesting experiences
Connections
with Sasquatch and like being interdimensional and just a bunch of far out shit. So I got to meet. I was with them twice here, and both, yeah, super genuine.
So we know Chris said earlier, you sort of didn't have much of an interest in sort of UFOs. You liked horror and sci-fi,
yeah,
but not much of an interest in sort of UFO topic. How about you, Tyler? So obviously with the documentaries you've got done, like the UFOs, Sasquatch, Ghosts of Gettysburg, how sort of interested have you been in the paranormal, and how did that start sort of in your life?
Yeah, I've just always been like open-minded. I don't think I've ever ever been like, oh man, like really fascinated with aliens and UFOs all my life. I'm not somebody like that, but I'm always somebody that in the back of my mind is like, oh bro, dude, the universe is a big place, man, massive. So like, I would never say without a shadow of a doubt we're the only intelligent life form out there. And like, so I've always believed that. And so I really, all this interest in UFOs, I feel like really got sparked. Was it like the spring of 2021 where we had coming up in July of 2021, like in the US, the what was it, like the UAP task force like report or whatever that was being presented to Congress. So just kind of reading up on that and on Reddit and just various things and just informing myself more. I'm like, oh dude, this is just crazy. Like the fact that the government, like, even though the report was like, super short and there really wasn't a ton of stuff in there, dude, it like tripped me out. I'm like, well, bro, like it says out of these 144 like objects they couldn't identify, and that's only since like, I don't want to misspeak, but it's only, like since like say 2017 or since 2011, like, you know what I mean? It's not even like going way back. But it's like, dude, I
think it was.
Okay.
What was that? It says 2004. Yeah, good looking out, Ash. But so it's like, they're saying like, well, it's not our tech and it's not like foreign adversarial tech. So I'm like, well, dude, if they're saying this in print, like, well, what are people supposed to think? Okay, it's not ours, it's not theirs. Well, then I feel like that only leaves one option, right? And I'm of the mindset, like, bro, we've come so far between when you guys started playing video games, Pong, and like Mario on Nintendo, to like, dude, throwing on like a VR, like a PlayStation VR headset now and being like, what? So in another 30 years, dude, who knows where our technology is? So if we're following this exponential rapid growth, who's to say if anything intelligent evolves 100 to 1,000 years before us, bro, man, they probably just have some evolved technology and thoughts. And dude, I'm of the mindset, it's like, dude, there could be things that we're just not even like looking at it right. Like nobody thought of an iPhone back in the 1900s because like your brain just, it's just, there's no way to even think of that. So like, what idea right now is super simple that we just, in hindsight, 1,000 years from now, be like, bro, that was so obvious. How did everybody miss that? But I'm down with like, yo, there could be something very simple like that, because like with the quantum entanglement, man, and like me spinning an electron here and one in your place spinning simultaneously, dude, there's something linking the like all these points in time and space, something. And we can't see the physical cable, right? But I can't see the Wi-Fi signals running through me right now. So like when the instrumentation is developed, or the thought however it has to come about, but dude, there's something linking those 2 points. And like when we figure out that path, it's like, it's like, oh dude, what's the shortest point from like, here to here? It's like, well, just fold that in half, right?
Somebody watched Event Horizon.
Yeah.
You know what I will say though about that kind of stuff though is like you constantly hear the people say, well, if there's a species of aliens that have this technology, why would they bother coming here? They can, like, we would be ants to them, all that kind of stuff. But my pushback would be like, there's people on this planet currently who research ants. You know what I mean? There's no reason why why it isn't a possibility that we are a living organism. Like, why wouldn't something be interested in us? We're interested in everything around us, you know? So,
And dude, you know, there's a cat in an uncontacted Amazonian tribe right now who's telling all the other people in the tribe, yo, bro, I feel like I saw a drone out there. Like, I think there's more out there. And these people are saying,
like,
dog,
no, yeah.
drink some more ayahuasca. Nah, this is it, bro. This is it. And so is there some sort of similar scenario here, man?
It's like humanity's hubris there. We think we know everything, yet we're constantly learning new things all the time. Go back 100 years and life is completely different. So,
are we in a zoo? I don't know.
What about you, Chris? Have you had any kind of UFO or paranormal experience at all?
Have I had experience? Well, I will say we did a shoot for the Ghosts of Gettysburg, and I won't give away too much because that film's coming out on the 26th of April, so only a few days after conscious contact. But that follows a bunch of people as well, you know, their stories, and but also we did like a seance. We camped out on haunted battlegrounds, and when we were going there, I had bought this battery, external battery pack, and I'd used it like twice before for different shoots because it's like you can charge your camera for like 5 hours and stuff like that. Tyler had brought this coffee maker type thing, and when we were going out there, everybody's like, you're going to have problems with your electronic equipment. And I was like, oh, okay. We had problems with our electronic equipment. Like my battery didn't work. Tyler's coffee maker wouldn't work. We're like, no. So something happened. Maybe it's all coincidence, but it was a little weird. It was, you know, it's a little mundane, but it was something like that. They were very confident when they said that. And then to actually have it happen, it's like, it's a little weird. It's a little strange. I won't say what else happened because there is some other stuff that's actually featured in the film. That little bit I just told you isn't. But it'll stick with me probably forever. It was a really interesting experience. You know, how many people get to say I went to a seance on haunted battlefields where, like, you know, hundreds of years ago, you know, thousands of people died. Probably not too many. And I got to do that. So I'm always going to remember that. And I'm always going to remember, like, man, that electronic equipment, that really didn't work there. So something's, yeah. But you should watch the movie because other stuff does happen. So
look forward to it.
Yeah, we'll send that to you for sure.
So you sort of mentioned, obviously, your documentaries focus on different aspects of the paranormal. So like ghosts, Sasquatch, ET. Mm-hmm. Sort of an underlying theme that we have throughout all of our podcast episodes is, and what we talk to all our guests about is there a link between sort of UFO phenomena and other paranormal phenomena? Or are they standalone? Sort of UFOs are one thing, ghosts are completely different, unrelated topics. What I was interested in seeing what your guys might have a take on that.
Well, some of our people we have interviewed certainly have expressed there is a link between several of these things. Notably, in the Secrets of the Sasquatch documentary I'm currently editing, there is definitely some discussion between, you know, extraterrestrial and Sasquatch. And I'll just say that for now. But it's a point of conversation in the film. So
yeah, I think it's certainly a possibility. I mean, I find it fascinating as well. That for those that look into Anjali's story, I think if you go back deep enough, I know she had like a near-death experience, right? So I know that there has been some other people who have had like alien contact, I believe, that have had near-death experiences as well, or or the near-death experiences, then they had like contact with ghosts or apparitions or something like that, or spirits. So, man, yeah, I think it's definitely within the realm of possibility that all three of those, Sasquatch, UFOs, and ghosts and aliens, are all linked together. And yeah, I could contend that there could be one piece of the puzzle, man, that, yeah, when we start looking at the world that way, man, maybe a lot more shit makes sense. Like, it just does. I don't know, man. I feel like how far we've come, like just how far we've all come already to be here is like, oh my God, dude. Yeah, our mindset and of our daily lives, and when we wake up in the morning, dude, is completely 180 degrees different than somebody from 50 years ago, 100 years ago, 200, 1,000. You know what I mean? Like, dude, I don't even know what normal will be, right? Who's to say that, like for example, so like the US government for a while, 20 years, 2 decades, whatever, was spending millions of dollars researching remote viewing and studying that, correct? So it's like, dude, I don't know. Is it possible that a lot of this stuff that has been written off as just science fiction or fanciful, like, is there some truth to that? And would the, powers that be, like, be apprehensive of, oh, dude, like, if more people believed different, like, those things, man, they would be more free. Like, we wouldn't have as much control over them, dude. Like, for example, like, I mean, dude, just the fact that Chris and I are even here on a podcast talking to two cats in the UK, dog, like, that is proof of, like, being able to follow your dreams, dude. Like, I would, man, I was like thinking about, dude, like, man, we need to get these docs distributed, man. We want to get these out to the world. We want people to watch this and be inspired, man. And I can't believe that, dude, like, I feel like me believing it was a possibility greatly increased the chances of it happening. You feel me? Like, I somewhat believed it. And it's interesting that a lot of, say, like, top athletes, top celebrities, top whatever, people of their in their respective, like, sports or businesses, empires, they, man, whether they're like heavily Christian, heavily Muslim, heavily Scientology, like, it seems like it doesn't matter what they're subscribing to so much as that they are believing that this is propelling them further, right? Like, I feel like there's something to that, man. I really do.
I think there's something to say about, like, momentum, especially in projects and creative endeavors and stuff like that. It's a lot easier to get people interested and involved in things when there's momentum and passion behind something and actually pushing something out there. I would say about the public mindset about this subject matter seems to be shifting a bit more, and maybe it's because the internet and because of podcasts like yours and stuff who talk about this stuff more often than it used to be. But it seems like people maybe have a bit more of an open mind about this subject matter, which is great. So I don't know where the future leads us, but I would say, if the government has this information, would they want to just drop everything, on a Tuesday afternoon? Would that shake the world? We're all so polarized, especially in America, between our political parties and our beliefs and stuff. We barely get along. And I feel like something like that, just dropping, like, all the information, might be too much. Is there possibly, stuff just seeding out slowly, getting people accustomed to these ideas? being more open-minded. I don't know, but I think about these things now, having talked to all these people and, you know, listened to their experiences and seeing, like we said, like Bill Nielsen of NASA and stuff, just kind of casually talking about this stuff now. It just seems to be more and more common to hear about this kind of stuff.
You sort of mentioned about being polarized and people being split. The sort of ufology itself tends to be two different camps. You got the
Woo.
camp that want nuts and bolts. They want the videos, they want the evidence, and they want the scientific side of it. And then you got the other side, which I say the woo side, where
Woo.
the conscious side, sort of the main focus of your documentary is. Though obviously towards the end you talk about like the Tic Tac case and Bill Nielsen, and you tie that in towards the end. But obviously the main focus is like the stories from Angeli and Sue, where it's quite just, you can't prove any of that. It's all nothing tangible there. So have you sort of prepared for a sort of section of ufology community that will watch the documentary and then be from the sort of nuts and bolts camp are going to just maybe reject or just be against sort of the message of your documentary?
There's a pretty powerful thing Tyler told me before that I've been using going forward because I'm trying to be more positive like him. There's like 7 billion people in the world. You're not going to please everyone, and don't even try. And so, you know, the way we subscribe to this thing is we put a lot of effort, time into this thing, that we think we made something that's not only entertaining, but interesting and compelling. And we hope you find something in there that works for you. And if you don't, that's fine. But we don't engage with the like ad hominem attacks and stuff like that. I'll gladly sit there and listen to critiques that are, you know, well thought, critical thoughts. You didn't like this about the film because of this. Okay, sure. Not everything works for everyone. I get that. If you just want to call people names, I don't have time for that. I don't need the toxic stuff in my life anymore. But also, yeah, no, I'll just let Tyler talk on that because I know he has more to say.
Yeah, dude, yeah. If we're batting 50%, dude, like the world is just, everybody is just so different, man. And I know, just that people have different opinions, and there's like a very, very, very small percentage of people that are just like not nice in general, right? But for the most part, I'm like, oh, dude, like I get that you don't dig it. Like I don't necessarily dig everything. I'm like nice, and I try and be respectful, not just go out of my way to just slam something because I don't particularly like it. But I just, man, yeah, I totally understand. It's like, oh, dude, if people aren't down with it, cool, man, dude, they can go find another doc.
Yeah.
They can go make their own doc, dude. I would love. And guess what, dude? I love, like, yeah, dude, if people are slamming us, dude, like if they want to go make a doc, I will cheer them on the entire way. I don't give a shit, bro. If people are out there just making an effort, I'm happy. So, and it's like, dude, no such thing as like, I don't know, bad press or whatever, right? If people are talking about us, dude, that's cool. Like that's good. And I understand that sometimes it's a lot easier to sling hateful comments than it are positive ones. And I know that in my life, I've had enough experiences here with filmmaking where out of the blue, somebody will message me, right? And they'll just say, man, so, dude, that is awesome, dude. I am like really rooting for you, dude. Keep going. And in my head, I'm like, damn, dude, for the past 5 years, they have not engaged, like liked one video. I never knew they were watching. But so the thing is like, dude, there's just certain metrics and whatnot that cause people to want to like something or not like something, but it doesn't mean that they're not like really, really being touched, man. So we're making our shit for the people who enjoy it, man. We're not making it for the people who hate it. They can go get some stuff that they love, dude. And by all means.
I mean, we have gotten messages about like, do you have like the irrefutable proof? And I don't know what I could end up showing somebody who asks a question like that, because even if I said I did and I showed them what I had and I think it's irrefutable proof, they'll find a way to say it's not. There's just a certain amount of people, especially on the internet, where it's like you don't have a personal connection with people sometimes. They just, I don't know. They got to be cynical. They got to be contrarian, and that's on them, man. I'm not going to let them ruin my day though. So yeah, no, we're expecting it. You know, we expect all kinds of points of view, but we're pretty proud of the film. And
so far, everybody's loved it. And that's that's what I dig, man. And dude, I realized, like, bro, my reality, me, like, I'm a product of what I'm thinking, man, of what's rattling around in my brain. And so if I'm like, there's been times where shitty stuff's happened, and like I'll call Chris, like this stuff's like and I'm just like, bro, like I gotta stop thinking about that. Can I change it? Can I take any actions to change it? Nope. All right. Well then, bro, there's no sense thinking about it, dog. It ain't gonna change your life. It's not gonna make it better. So that's how I handle these negative comments. It's like, bro, I'm not replaying them in my head. Get the hell out of here. That makes my life bad. I'm replaying the ones that people are like I said, dude, some of the ones where the people saw it and I just watched something kind of switch on in them. And I'm like, dude, that is dope to see that passion, man. And even if they don't go explore, say, UFOs, right? Maybe it just ignites something like, oh, dude, the world's a big place, man. Like I need to go get after the stuff that fires me up. And I don't like, until so-and-so's sleeping in my bed and feeding my kid and getting him to school and all that, like, what do I care what they think, dog?
I've noticed this editing Secrets of the Sasquatch, which is technically our 4th documentary. You know, we do strive to improve upon every product we make, every video I make, every video Tyler makes, and I see noticeable difference and steps up, and we make little tweaks and changes, and we're like, what if we did this kind of thing this way? And so there is, you know, there is still growth. It's not like we're closed-minded and all that kind of stuff, and we think we know better than everybody else. But we're excited to get this film out. Good, bad, however it's perceived, we are excited and we are proud of it. So yeah, we hope everyone,
dude, like I said, those comments,
yeah,
those comments about the high production value, do they mean a tremendous amount to Chris and I. And we have been just very fortunate and blessed that, dude, and like every podcast so far has been one of their main comments. And I'm like, dude, that is badass, because like it just proves that, dude, anybody out there, if they have an idea and they want to get into filmmaking, bro, we did that with like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 days of filming with commercial grade equipment. Now, a lot of hustle, you know, there's other stuff that takes place, but like when you get down to it, bro, it was like 5 days of filming and 3 weeks of editing, maybe 4 weeks till we got like a narration written and stuff. But like you could, like, so
you can do it.
Gnarly that, we did it. And bro, if you go look at our stuff on our pages from 5 years ago, when nobody putting money down on us saying we'd be doing this. Probably if people, dude, literally 6 months ago, nobody was putting money down on us saying, dude, they're going to get distribution. And I was like, I don't give a shit, bro. I don't care. We're going to try our damn best. And it's not over till we say it's over. And man, so awesome. Anybody can do this, man. Anybody, including you too, bro. So I love the podcast. I love what you guys are doing here, generating this momentum. And I hope you keep going.
Thank you. So one last question from me. I have watched a documentary, but if I hadn't, I've got an hour spare. I can pick one documentary off Netflix or Amazon Prime or whatever to watch. Why should I pick yours?
Jeez. Oh my God.
That's a good question.
I was going to let Chris, but dude, again, if you're into this type of content, UFO content, aliens, telepathy, consciousness, hybrids, we may be hybrids. Enough government officials, former government officials, etc., are bringing that into the public discussion. Why, man? Why? To open up people's minds to the possibility that, hey, if this information is dropped, the society doesn't crumble. People are like, Yep. No, I get it. I figured that. But so why watch this? Because man, I feel like we've done it better than a lot of the other documentaries in a storytelling capacity, man. If you like to watch good images with clean audio and hear awesome stories, I don't want to give all these things away, but again, former Department of Defense intelligence officers, Sue Walker having just clairvoyancy and being able to, having experiences back in college, right? With UFO sightings and just very, very interesting people who have led interesting lives, and they're all very genuine, man. I think you would be worse off spending your hour watching something that after 10 minutes, you're going to want to turn off. This, bro, if you like to end your movies, like I said, coming up swinging, bro, let's go. Let's contact our government officials, man. Let's get this party started, man. I don't know. Maybe I'll try some telepathy. Dude, that's what I'm talking about, dude. That's how you're coming up that's how you're coming out of the viewing, man, is I think you're uplifted and you believe me, or you realize, man, the world is a lot bigger and the universe is a lot bigger than I probably give it credit.
I would say if you have a little bit of interest, a lot of interest in UFOs and this kind of stuff, then this documentary is for you, because we have people who really have never been featured in these kind of things before, who do have credibility, who tell very interesting stories that do interweave with each other's in some ways, which is in itself very interesting to me. And it leaves on a very optimistic message, and hopefully it resonates with you in some way. In a lot of ways, I feel like these kind of documentaries can possibly be stale. This one feels emotionally resonant to me, especially with the ending messages. And like I said, nothing scripted. It's just how all these people's kind of stories ended. And when I was putting it together at the end, I was like, damn, that's really uplifting. I felt that. And I'm the one sitting here editing it. And it made me proud that we did that. Because that's what, as a filmmaker, you're striving to touch people, not physically. I mean, unfortunately, a lot of filmmakers are doing that as well, but I'm talking about emotionally with your film. You know what I mean? You want your film you want people to feel, and I feel like we did that. And it's not even us that did it, really. It's the people we talked to, which is amazing. So I think this is something special.
Yeah, who knows? The Ponte could have had I would be open to the possibility of the Ponte helping guide the making of this. I mean, here's another thing real quick. I had some wild experiences. I know when I left Sue Walker, she said, hey, the Ponte have been known to visit people that, have come to see me, if they express and declare that they're open to it. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm totally cool with that. That's no problem. She's like, oh, would your son be all right with it? I'm like, oh yeah, no problem. And dude, I'll be damned if I didn't have some just kind of hitchhiker effect experiences, man, where there was this old slinky found in the recliner that had been lost for a year. I reached my hand down in that recliner hundreds of times, dude. And all of a sudden it's there. And my son, another thing where this plastic bag, there was no draft in the house and nothing, no air conditioning running, and this plastic bag moved and made the sound, dude. It was crazy. And here's what's up, dude. He was getting kind of nervous, right? My son, because he experienced it as well, right? And so I'm trying to calm him down. I'm like, look, dog, if they were here to do anything malicious, it'd be done, man. We wouldn't even have a chance, a shot, right? So I'm like, yo, if the Ponte are out there, right, that's just teasing us, right, as Sue had mentioned, hey, make dad be the best filmmaker in the world, right? And I'll tell you what, Dog, you can go back and watch that video on Facebook. And I'll tell you what, since I threw that into the universe to the Ponte in front of my son, I don't know, man. We got two, a third one getting picked up for distribution, a fourth one picked up for distribution. Like a lot of shit has happened, man. So I think if people watch this documentary, they might have a unique experience and a change in perspective and just go about life maybe in a different way.
Hope so. I've watched it.
Yo, throw it out to the Ponte, man. It can't hurt. It can't hurt.
Awesome. So obviously, when we release this, the film's going to be out in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
Where can our listeners find out more about you, and where can they pick up the documentary when it's out?
Sure. So you can find us at docksidemedia.com, DOC media.com. But as far as the movie, and Dockside Media on Twitter, Facebook, those kind of things as well. As far as the movie, April 19th for wide release, all the major platforms, Apple, iTunes, Google, Microsoft, Vimeo. I want to say YouTube, but I'm not sure about that, and a few other places. Basically, if you want Google Play, if you need to find a movie, you'll find it. It's going to be on all the major things. So we're excited for it. And if you watched it and you like it, reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you guys. Talk with anyone, about this kind of stuff. So
please, dude, if it does resonate with you, if you would leave a review wherever it's at, man, hop on our Facebook page or Twitter. We'd love to hear from you. And we are because that shit means a lot, and that fires us up to just go even harder, man. So feel free to send those good vibes, man, because we definitely see them. And
Greg and Ash, you guys know this, I assume, doing your podcast for so long. It's I have my own podcast as well, but when you do something for so long, you start to feel why am I doing this? Is there even an audience? Is anyone out there even listening? And then you get that comment or you get that review and you're like, oh, damn, there is somebody out there listening. And that feels so good. I don't think listeners and viewers of this kind of stuff know how powerful, because it I don't know what it is. It's just as a creative and stuff like that, it just, you want your stuff to be heard and listened to and watched. And so the viewers and listeners of this podcast, you have that power. Go leave an iTunes review, go do something, just leave that impact, because it means the world to all of us. It makes your day so good to know somebody is cares and listens and watches, because this is effort. You guys do a lot of effort, you get a lot of effort. Sometimes you just want people to know, you just want to know people are out there. So
we get messages, and it's just nice when people go, really enjoyed that episode was really cool.
And it's it takes them 2 seconds. They probably think nothing of it, but you're like, oh man, that's awesome. Right?
All those hours and hours and hours.
Exactly. So,
and if your listeners, last plug, if you guys are crazy and adventurous and you're like, yo, I want to be in one of their docs, you can, because if you follow our social media accounts, you'll see, man, when we're doing these, when we shot the Ghost of Gettysburg, we're making posts. Hey, anybody want to go camp out at this haunted land, so the haunted trails of Gettysburg? And we got, dude, it was 2 weeks notice, I think, Chris, maybe 3, I can't remember, but we got I think 9 people there or whatever it was. It was dope.
It's cool.
Scheduling, I'm getting into Sasquatch groups saying, hey guys, anybody trying to do a camp out on this state forest, right? We'll take gear, all this stuff. And so a lot of it's crazy how the people that ended up in some of these other docs, again, it's just really, really dope how they found their way into it. My one man in Secrets of the Sasquatch, he's like, man, I don't do these things. I don't like to talk to people. My wife's like, what are you doing going out? And he's like, man, I just felt compelled to come. And so it was awesome. And dude, we had some gnarly experiences. So Yeah, dude, we can get you guys involved. You can fly on over here. I'll tell you what, my buns will fly out to you in the UK. Let me know. I'll be there.
Definitely.
We'll get you in here.
Awesome. Well, yeah, thanks, guys. Chris and Tyler, awesome chatting to you. Thanks so much for
been brilliant. Thank you.
to us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us, guys. I know we talk a lot. It's a thing we do, but we kind of take over sometimes. But
Cool.
Thank you so much for having us here. Yeah, thanks again.
It means a lot. Thank you so much.
Pursuit of the Paranormal with Ash and Greg.